Yes, I think it definitely can still be an essay because of the way that I and others have been interpreting the word essay in this context, which is maybe experiment or attempt. That coming from the French essayer. So anything can be an essay in this understanding. But yeah, I think one of the most interesting things for me was when I departed from the idea that I had to have split screens, and instead started to use superimposition. And in a couple of my videos, I make these comparisons. Previously, I would have kept them apart with a frame, with the two frames juxtaposed, sometimes even with a space in between. But in a few video essays, I've done some overlapping comparisons. So there's one I did on a scene from Murnau's Sunrise and Powell and Pressburger's I Know Where I'm Going, where a woman lights a cigarette from a candle. And it's absolutely a conscious reference in the Powell and Pressburger film. And instead of showing the split screens, I decided to superimpose the images so it seems to be happening in the same frame and that one film is haunted by the other. And there was another comparison I did between the endings of the silent version of Stella Dallas and the read-on version of Stella Dallas, where again I overlapped the images, and so it's quite a poetic comparison. It still works as a scholarly one because you can still see all of the similarities and the differences that you would want to see in a scholarly discussion of that, the similarity of the endings. But it also works in a completely poetic way, and to enhance that effect, as well as using the superimposition, I took account of the fact that the earlier film was colorized, and I tinted and colorized the later film, which was a black and white film, and just, I don't know, it was amazing. So you ended up with these kind of two slightly silent, slightly post-silent films playing over one another. Again, the poetic effect was enhanced by the fact that both screens have characters looking off in order to imagine the person who isn't there in the scene. And so when you juxtapose those two frames, you have this wonderful effect of characters from the later film looking at characters from the early film, and vice versa, which is not very scholarly, but is somehow very compelling and does seem to say something about the way that cinema represents what is present in its frame and what isn't present in its frame.